Most of our gray hairs don't come from the years we've lived, but from the invisible war we wage against reality every single day. We spend a lifetime building a perfect life, only to feel betrayed when a single brick falls out of place. Welcome to my channel, Buddha Essence Wisdom. I'm so grateful you've joined me today. If you find peace in these reflections, please consider subscribing to support me in creating more videos for our community. I want you to imagine something for a moment. Imagine you're planning a quiet morning in your garden, but a sudden storm rolls in. Do you stand in the rain shouting at the clouds asking, "Why today? Why me?" Of course not. And yet that is exactly how we treat our lives. We have this unspoken contract with the universe that says, "I will be happy as long as things go my way." But life never signed that contract. At our age, we've seen enough to know that the only constant is change. Yet we still suffer because we expect life to be fair, smooth, or predictable. When a health diagnosis surprises us, or a long-held plan falls apart, we feel a deep sense of injustice. But from a Buddhist perspective, the pain doesn't come from the event itself. It comes from the gap between how life is and how we think it should be. Have you ever felt that tightness in your chest when things go wrong? That is the sound of your mind arguing with the truth, real freedom. The kind of peace that stays with you even in the middle of a storm only begins when we stop demanding that life be predictable. It's about looking at the chaos and saying, so this is what's happening now. When you stop expecting the world to be perfect, you finally give yourself permission to be happy. Now I want to talk about a quieter kind of suffering, one that often catches us by surprise as we enter our 60s. It's the weight of the masks we wear. For 30 or 40 years, you might have been the CEO, the top producer, or the strong pillar of your family. We spend our entire lives polishing these titles like badges of honor. But then the day comes when you hand in your office keys, or the kids move across the country to start their own lives, and suddenly the house is quiet. Do you ever feel a strange sense of emptiness when no one is calling you for advice or orders anymore? I remember talking to a friend of mine, a retired surgeon here in California. He told me, "For 40 years, I was the man who saved lives. Now I'm just a guy buying groceries, and I feel like a ghost." He was suffering because he was clinging to a ghost of his former self. I want you to realize something profound. You are not your business card, you are not your bank account, and you are not the roles you played in the past. If you define yourself by a title that can be taken away, you are building your happiness on shifting sand. In the teachings of the Buddha, we look for the unconditioned. I want you to try this next time you feel that hut hang, that sinkhole feeling of insignificance. Take a deep breath. Look at your hands. Feel the air on your skin. That presence, that awareness that is simply watching life happen, that is who you truly are. You are a beautiful, pure presence that exists beyond any job description. When you let go of the title, you finally have the room to discover the soul. You aren't less than because you've retired. You are finally free to just be. This brings us to a very subtle habit that drains our energy without us even knowing our habit of arguing with what is already happening. I want you to listen closely to your inner monologue today. How many times does your mind say, "This shouldn't be happening"? Maybe it's a traffic jam when you're late, a sudden ache in your knee, or even just a rainy day when you wanted sun. In that tiny moment when you say no to what is already here, you are creating a friction that burns through your peace of mind. I often tell my students, pain is a part of life, but suffering is optional. Think of it like being caught in a strong current in a river. If you spend all your strength trying to swim upstream, screaming that the water shouldn't be flowing that way, you will eventually drown from exhaustion. But if you relax and float with the current, you finally have the clarity to look around and see a branch to grab onto or a shallow spot to step out. Many people think that acceptance means giving up or being weak, but it's actually the most courageous thing you can do. Acceptance is not resignation, it is a tactical pause. When you stop wasting your energy fighting the fact that the car broke down or that a friend forgot your birthday, your mind becomes quiet like a lake after the wind dies down. And only in that stillness can you make a wise choice. You can't fix a problem while you are still furious that the problem exists. Next time life throws you a curveball, I want you to try a simple practice. Instead of saying, "Why is this happening?" try saying, "This is what is happening." Feel the difference in your body. The tension leaves your shoulders. Your breath becomes deeper. By accepting the natural flow of reality, you aren't losing the battle, you're finally stepping out of the war. Next, I want to talk to you about a silent burden that we often strap onto our own backs every single day, the act of judging others. At our stage of life, with all the experience we've gathered, it's so easy to look at our adult children, our grandchildren, or even our friends and think, why aren't they doing it this way? Or they really should be living like that. We create a rigid set of standards and try to force everyone around us to fit inside them. Have you ever felt exhausted or even lost sleep simply because you were frustrated with how someone else was choosing to live their life? I want you to imagine this. Every time you judge someone, it's like picking up a heavy stone and dropping it into a backpack you're wearing. The other person might not feel a thing, but you are the one gasping for breath under that weight. In psychology, just as in the Buddha's teachings, judgment is actually a desperate attempt by the ego to control things that are completely out of our hands. We worry about our children because we love them, but judging their choices is an imposition of our own fears. When you tell yourself, they are living all wrong, your own heart is the one tightening with anxiety and disappointment. Do you know what the greatest liberation is? It isn't when other people finally change to suit your wishes. It's when you finally give them permission to be exactly who they are. Try looking at your loved ones through the eyes of a compassionate observer rather than a strict judge. When you let go of the need to be right or the need to correct everyone, you'll feel a strange, beautiful lightness seeping into your soul. This is the most effective natural sedative that no doctor could ever prescribe for you. By respecting the unique journey of every person you are giving yourself, the most precious gift of these later years, true serenity. Have you ever noticed that your mind is a master storyteller? It's constantly narrating your life, but here's the catch: that storyteller is often a liar. It loves to weave elaborate tales out of thin air. I want you to imagine this. You see a friend across the street, you wave and they don't wave back. Instantly, the storyteller kicks in. Are they mad at me? Did I say something wrong at dinner last week? Maybe they don't value our friendship anymore. Suddenly, a perfectly beautiful afternoon is ruined. Your heart feels heavy and your mood sours, all because of a story that hasn't even been proven true. For all you know, they just didn't have their glasses on. At our age, we've accumulated a lot of mental data, and our minds use it to create assumptions, fears, and imaginary scenarios. We treat these thoughts as if they are solid facts, as if they are the ultimate truth. But I want to share a perspective that changed my life. Thoughts are just like clouds passing through the sky. Some clouds are light and fluffy, others are dark and stormy. But no matter how dark the cloud is, it can never stain the blue of the sky itself. Your true self. Your essence is that vast, clear blue ski. The thoughts, they are just weather. They drift in, and if you let them, they drift right back out. The suffering begins when we try to grab a dark cloud and hold on to it, insisting that the whole world is now gray. But you don't have to believe everything you think. Just because a thought appears doesn't mean it deserves your attention or your faith. The next time a fearful or negative thought arises, I want you to pause. Ask yourself, is this a fact or is this just a story my mind is telling me? When you stop being a prisoner to your assumptions, you'll find that the sky of your life is much brighter than you realized. You can finally enjoy the beautiful day that is happening right now, regardless of what the mental weather looks like. We spend decades of our lives being the fixers. We make sure the kids have their tuition. We worry about the mortgage, we maintain the yard, and we ensure the family's future is secure. We are so busy sweeping the porches of everyone else's lives that we completely forget to step inside our own. I want you to imagine this. You have a beautiful guest house, but you haven't stepped inside it for 40 years. The windows are covered in dust. The mail is piling up at the door and the air is stale. This is exactly what happens to our inner home, our spirit, when we obsess over external things we cannot truly control. I've met so many people in their 60s who are masters at cleaning the neighbor's yard. They know exactly what their son should do with his career or how their community should be run. Yet their own internal world is cluttered with anxiety, resentment, and noise. We suffer because we try to find stability in a world of changing stock markets and growing children instead of finding it within ourselves. As the Buddha taught, your mind is your only true refuge, but you cannot find refuge in a home you never visit. When was the last time you sat quietly without a phone, without a plan, and just checked in on you? Taking care of your inner home doesn't require a grand renovation. It starts with something as simple as your breath. I want you to try this right now. Just one deep breath. Feel the air enter, feel the chest expand, and feel the release. In that one breath, you have come home. You have stopped running after the world and started tending to your own garden. The world will always be a bit messy, and people will always be unpredictable. But when your inner home is clean, when you are anchored in your own presence, the storms outside don't feel so threatening anymore. Stop trying to tidy up the whole world and start by coming back to the breath. It is the most loving thing you can do for yourself and for everyone who relies on you. Now let's talk about a guest that often stays in our homes without being invited, the ghost of what was and the shadow of what if. As we get older, our minds become like old photo albums. We find ourselves constantly flipping back to chapters from 20-30 years ago, replaying old mistakes, nursing old regrets, or longing for a version of ourselves that no longer exists. Or we swing to the other side worrying about our health in 10 years, our finances, or what the world will look like for our grandchildren. I want you to imagine this. You are sitting in your favorite chair holding a warm cup of tea. The sun is hitting the floor just right and the room is quiet. It's a perfect moment, but you aren't there. Your body is in the chair, but your mind is miles away, arguing with a boss you had in 1995, or trembling over a medical bill that hasn't even arrived. When we do this, we are literally missing our own lives. The Buddha taught us that the present moment is the only place where you are actually alive. Everything else is a dream. The past is like a sunset that is already dipped below the horizon. You can remember its colors, but you can't warm your hands by it anymore. The future is like a sunrise that hasn't happened yet. You can't walk in its light until it arrives. I often see people in our community wasting their precious today by mourning their yesterday or fearing their tomorrow. But think about it, how much of your life have you missed while you were busy worrying about things that never even happened? I want to challenge you today. Whenever you feel that uninvited guest pulling you away, simply say to yourself, I am back. Feel the weight of your feet on the floor. Taste your tea. Listen to the bird outside your window. The present moment doesn't have to be perfect to be peaceful. It just has to be attended to. When you stop living in the shadows of what was or what might be, you finally have the chance to fully inhabit the life you have right now. We come now to perhaps the most difficult yet most beautiful lesson of all, the art of the open hand. There is a powerful truth in the Buddha's teachings. You only lose what you cling to. I want you to sit with that for a moment. Think of your life like holding a handful of fine sand. If you squeeze your fist tight, trying to keep every grain, the sand escapes through your fingers and your hand begins to ache. But if you simply keep your palm open, the sand rests there, peaceful and still. As we move through our 60s and 70s, life begins to ask us to let go of many things. Maybe it's the physical strength we once had, a career that defined us, or even loved ones who have moved on to their own journeys. Our instinct is to tighten our grip, to fight the change, to scream, "Not yet." But I want to ask you, does the gripping make the thing stay, or does it just make your soul tired? I once knew a woman who spent years bitter because her house, once filled with the noise of children, had become quiet. She clung to the identity of being a busy mother so tightly that she couldn't see the beauty of her new role as a wise elder. She was suffering not because the children left, but because her hands were still closed around a past that had already moved on. When we learn to nudge our grip, whether it's on our health, our status, or our expectations, something miraculous happens. We don't actually lose the essence of those things, we lose the pain associated with them. We find that we can move through life with a heart that is light rather than a heart that is heavy with the weight of holding on. Learning to let go isn't about losing. It's about making room for the peace that is trying to enter your life right now. It is the ultimate act of self-love. When you finally relax your arms and stop trying to freeze time, you'll find that you aren't falling, you are finally floating. If today's reflection resonates with you, you're welcome to support the channel by liking, sharing, or subscribing. Each small action you take is a source of energy that helps me continue creating mindful content for the @Buddha Essence Wisdom community.